Welcome back, SethBling here, and today Mojang released Minecraft Snapshot 15W34C. It's the third snapshot of the week, and this one has a bunch of updates to the combat system in Minecraft, and you can tell that by going and looking at the various tools. And so if you look, there is now an attack speed and attack damage for each various tool. So for instance, Diamond Hoe, 4 attack speed, 2 damage. Pickaxe has 1.5 attack speed and 5 damage, 1.45 and 7 for a sword. So I'm going in order from fastest to slowest, and also least damage to most damage. The shovel has 1 attack speed and 7.5 damage, and 0.85 attack speed and 11 damage for diamond axe. So a higher speed, a higher attack speed means you can attack faster, and obviously damage means damage. So they're sort of, it's just like a trade-off between attack damage and attack speed. And so what that looks like, here's a sword, and this is what we saw in the previous snapshot with attack speed. But with like a hoe, it actually recovers very fast. This is actually as fast as the meter. You can, by the way, you should be looking to the right of my hotbar if you aren't. The meter recovers pretty fast. Oh, whoops. Let's go to survival mode. That's as fast as punching recovers. And then here's like a pickaxe. This is how fast it recovers. Shovel is a bit slower than a sword, and it deals very slightly more damage. Now an axe is actually really slow, but it does deal a lot of damage. So let's actually spawn some mobs in here. It's nighttime. Let's see. Summon zombie tilde 5. So it's nighttime, but I have night vision effect, and that's why it looks so weird. So this axe actually dealt 5 damage, and it kills this zombie in 2 fully charged up attacks. In fact, a normal diamond axe without any enchantments, if I just do 1 critical hit, it kills the spider. Oops. Whoa, that was weird. 1 critical hit to kill a spider. So that's pretty insane. There's no enchantments at all. Let's compare that with like a critical hit from a sword. Deals 5 damage, and then you still have to hit it again. Now some changes. You can still add increased knockback by sprinting and attacking, but you can't critical hit by sprinting and jumping. So that's kind of a change. But so yeah, if you want to get in a critical hit, you can't sprint. And then some other changes. Actually, probably one of the coolest things, I think, is, and probably the most needed thing is, if you kind of get cornered by a bunch of zombies or something like this, it's a problem. But if you have a sword, this doesn't work for any weapon but sword, and you're not moving very fast, that is, you're standing still or sneaking, you can see there's this like white little explosion effect, a particle effect, and that actually causes an area of effect knockback. And you can see I'm actually hitting multiple mobs with a knockback. It only deals the damage to the mobs that I target, but it does deal knockback to all of them. And you have to have a fully charged attack meter in order to deal that knockback. But if you get cornered, it's very helpful for kind of stemming the tide of enemies. If you have a bunch of enemies attacking you, and that was one of the big concerns that a lot of people had with the reduced attack speed, is that you would not be able to stave off bunches of mobs if you get cornered. Ooh, gotta go over here. Now, so that's one of the 2 special effects that weapons can have. The axe also has a special effect that's only apparent in multiplayer. If you attack with a fully charged axe attack, you will actually temporarily disable the opponent's shield. So that's a cool way in PvP situations to deal with that. I'm sure that the numbers that are on these weapons currently will be tweaked throughout the snapshots leading up to 1.9. Nothing here is final, and I know that they're also planning on adding more visual effects. So probably that visual effect for the area of effect knockback, it's like a little mini explosion, and it's kind of weird. I imagine that's probably going to change, but you never know. So that's some pretty big changes to PvP. All the weapons are kind of useful. The sword has the biggest like damage per second, assuming that you attack immediately once your bar fills up. Although I think I'm actually leaning towards preferring the axe, just because you can get those one-hit kills on spiders, and it seems really strong. So that's pretty much the changes to PvP. Now, I actually should mention here, let's grab a couple of zombies. If you have a knockback enchantment on a weapon, the area of effect still works, but it doesn't apply the knockback to anyone but the main mob that you do hit. So you can see the other mobs do get affected by the area of effect knockback, but only the one mob is getting knocked way back. So that's something to be mindful of. Something to be aware of with the new system. Come on, die. Anyway, so that's pretty much what I'm going to say about the new PvP system. And then I do want to mention that Ender Pearls now have a cooldown. So you throw an Ender Pearl, and there's this like white little bar that acts as a countdown timer for when you can throw another Ender Pearl. And that also applies to Chorus Fruit. So that actually impacts your ability to like spam Ender Pearls to get through the bedrock ceiling of the Nether and get up to the ceiling of the Nether. So that is another change. And then the last thing I want to mention is actually from 15W34B. It's from the previous snapshot. It's conditional command blocks and also tab completion in command blocks. Let's go to creative mode. Let me grab one of these command blocks and just put it down. So this is a clock command block. You can see I can /G and then press tab in the game mode. I can keep pressing tab to give, and then press tab to get a name. I'm the only player logged in the server. Press space, tab. So I can do all these tab completion things right here from the command block, which is really, really nice. I can tell you, as somebody who spends a lot of time putting commands into command blocks, it's a very nice feature. So tab completion, that's new. And then also there's these new conditional command blocks. So in the previous snapshot and the A snapshot, we got chain, repeat, and impulse command blocks. But we also have conditional and unconditional. And unconditional is the default mode of command block, but so that's unconditional is what we've seen in command blocks before. So conditional is a new mode that basically says only run this command. If you would run this command, only run it if the block that's behind this command block has successfully run a command. Okay, so what does that mean? Let's actually give myself a couple of command blocks. Give SethBling command block. So let's do some experiments to see what that means. So notice that there is the direction that the command block's pointing. So, and then I also need some redstone. Okay, so let's test for @A, and let's say hi. Okay, so and I need to put this in conditional mode. Actually, let's do it unconditional first. So whenever I power it, it's just going to say hi. Let's put it in conditional mode. It's not going to do anything because this one hasn't successfully run a command and gotten like a success value. But if we test for @A, that's obviously going to succeed because it found me. So you can see in the previous output section here. So now when I run this command, it will say hi. If I test for @A with the condition that the mode is game mode 0, and we run this, then this command won't work anymore because the block behind it most recently failed in its command execution. So it's conditional on the command block behind it. Now notice that the other command block doesn't have to be pointing at this one for the conditional thing to work. If I break it and have this one pointing this direction, we test for @A m equals 0, so there's no one in survival mode on the server, and we run the commands. It was not able to find anybody, so this is not going to work. So it's the block behind the conditional block that it tries to read from. And so you can do things like, well, here's just another sample. This is the same thing, testing for players in survival mode, and then just saying hi. So this is a clock and a chain. And so if I go to game mode 0, it'll spam hi. If I go back to game mode 1, it stops. And similar thing here, but just showing, whoops. So the same commands, test for and say hi. And so these are both clocks, but this is showing that the block, it's looking at the block behind it. And game mode 0, game mode 1. So that's pretty much how those work. Very useful for doing fun things without having to use comparators and the delay that comparators can incur. And just generally, I can tell you as a command blocker, it's a very useful new feature. Okay, so that's all I've got for you for 15W34, both B and C, I guess. If you'd like to try it out for yourself, obviously just play it through the launcher, and I've got some links for you in the video description. That's about it. Thanks for watching.